Good day, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Today, my friends, Mrs. Nur Kholisoh, Mrs. Aulia, and myself, Sajjad, are here for a presentation. The topic is there, you can see it. Developing and integrating courseware for oral presentations into ESP learning contexts. After this presentation, you're supposed to get answers of three questions. First is what is multimedia? The second is or multimedia and courseware regarded as the panaceas for the long-lived problem of language learning. And the third is based on TSA's study, can the courseware improve students' oral presentations? Here we go. We continue with the presentation and the first question, what is multimedia? Uh, Next page, please. Multimedia. So as looks everybody knows if we think about media and just we just know like a computer, videos, pictures. You can see around me a lot of medias around, and the term multimedia, and then we just say multimedia if it's we add multi this word, so it means many medias around. So the term multimedia literally means various types of media, like video clips and visuals that can be manipulated and or integrated. So multimedia, it can operationally be defined as the manipulation of computers to present verbal or visual information in an integrated form of text, graphic, video or animated clips and sound. Multimedia is the presentation of text, pictures, audio, and video with links and tools that allow the user to navigate, engage, create, and communicate using computers, as we know. And actually, people learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. It's a clear sentence when, if for example we have a book with the whatever pages, only words, and whatever we read, it's quite difficult for us to remember all the words. But if there's a few pictures inside, these words will be stick in our mind because of that pictures. So next, please. Next page, please. Thank you very much. And the term multimedia can be viewed in three ways. The first, the delivery media view. The most obvious view is that the multimedia means the presentation of material using two or more delivery devices. For example, in computer-based multimedia, material can be presented via the screen and via the speakers. These devices can be even further broken down by defining each window on a computer screen as a separate delivery device, and each soundtrack coming from a speaker as a separate delivery device. But this question will come, what's wrong with this view of multimedia? Technically, it is the most accurate view because it focuses on the media used to present information, but psychologically, it does more to confuse the issue than to clarify it. The focus is on the device used to present information rather than on how people learn. And the focus is on technology rather than on learners. The second is the presentation mode view. The focus is on the way that material is represented, such as through the use of words or pictures. For example, in computer-based, again, multimedia, material can be presented verbally as on screen text, or narration, and pictorially as static graphics or animation. This view is consistent with the learner-centered approach if we assume that learners are able to use various coding systems to represent knowledge, such as verbal and pictorial knowledge representations. Although conventional wisdom is that the picture can be converted into words and vice versa. Research on mental representations suggests that verbal ways of representing knowledge may be qualitatively different from pictorial ways of representing knowledge. And the third is the sensory modality view. In this view, while also consistent with the learner-centered approach, takes a somewhat different approach. Instead of focusing on the codes used to represent knowledge in a learner's information processing systems, the sensory modalities view focuses on the sensory receptors the learners uses to perceive the incoming material, such as the eyes and ears. For example, again, in computer-based environment, an animation can be presented visually, and narration can be presented auditorily. This view is learner-centered because it takes the learner's information processing activity into account. Unlike the presentation modes view, however, the sensory modalities view is that multimedia involves presenting material that is processed visually and auditorily. And thank you very much for listening to my parts, and we'll continue with my friends. Nur Kholisoh, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will explain the second question. Are multimedia and causes regarded as dependence for the long-lived problem of language learning? Yes. Multimedia as and courseware regarded as dependencies for the long-lived problem of language learning. Because the digital technology, it is possible to combine verbal, visual, and oral feature of a concept that can later be presented to the learner using a computer. And courses can be conducted with the interactive properties of some educational software. Okay, the three major assumptions in a cognitive model of learning through multimedia. Number one, dual channel assumption. Human mind receives and processes verbal visual information through different channels. And two, capacity assumption. The mind can process only a limited amount of information all at once. And three, active processing assumption. The mind and selectively arrange and integrates the newly and previously learned material to learn meaningfully. Okay, next part will be explained the Aulia.
Based on study, can we courseware improve studying or presentation? Next, study focused on developing ESP courseware for oral presentation in order to stimulate real situation as much as possible and to integrate the ESP course in the process of teaching and learning so that students were able to develop their communicate competence through direct interaction with the courseware. Besides that, the courseware in the study incorporate the SP subject content which promoted real life contact and activity. Next, there is detail about the step of courseware design. They have a background knowledge examining the skills and